This is Worldview on WBEZ. I'm Jerome McDonnell. It's time for our Eco Heroes segment, where we feature someone who goes above and beyond for the environment. Darius Jones is an urban gardening pioneer. He is garden coordinator for the McCormick Rooftop Farm. It's a 20,000 square foot rooftop vegetable garden at the Botanic Gardens. And Darius has an urban farming business of his own called Urban Aggies. It's on a quarter-acre plot in the Garfield Park neighborhood where he grew up. Thanks a lot for joining us, Darius Jones.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Now, how did you get involved in urban agriculture? It's an unusual story.
Yeah, definitely. In 2009, I was incarcerated for 13 months, and I was sentenced to the Vocational Rehabilitation Impact Center, formerly known as the Cook County Boot Camp Program. At that point, I started working with the Chicago Botanic Garden, Windy City Harvest Program, and doing a job training program.
Now, that's the Sheriff's Department has a little farm type of thing, an urban agriculture farm you can work on.
Yeah, exactly. They also have one at Cook County, but this one was the Chicago Botanic Gardens in the VRIC facility.
All right. Now, I've seen those people at the farmer's market, and they sell vegetables and whatnot.
Yeah, definitely.
And you caught the bug for growing vegetables?
Yeah, man. You know, I guess just being outside, you know, connecting with myself, being able to think while working with my hands was, you know, a good experience. Taught me to value a lot.
How did you build on that once you caught that idea that, you know, I could grow food and this would be, you know, great?
Yeah, so Windy City Harvest also has a 9-month sustainable urban ag program in partnership with City Colleges of Chicago. So after I was finished with the transitional job program, I joined this 9-month class. And during my internship period, I worked as the sales coordinator for the program. So managing the harvest, the food safety, the packing, the distribution, farmers market stands.
Explain where all the food goes. It's not just farmers market stands, but it's big-time restaurant and, catering facilities, I guess.
Yeah. So we work with our main buyer is Midwest Foods, which is a wholesale distribution company that's less than half a mile away from our facility. So they're our number one client, and they work with different restaurants throughout the city, including Safer Restaurants at McCormick, and some other big clients.
Are there things you really like to grow?
Yeah, yeah. You know, when I got into it, I guess the unique part about it was not just, you know, vegetables. It went deeper than that, knowing crops and varieties. So I really like different experimental varieties. Like it's a variety of carrot that's purple on the outside, bright orange on the inside, purple haze carrots that, you know, just so beautiful, you know. Swiss chard is a really beautiful crop I like to grow. Kale is really tasty, really beautiful.
Kale's unbelievable. I never grew it before, but we started growing it a couple of years ago, and it's prolific.
Yeah.
And really good for you.
Yeah, definitely.
What are you gonna now to explain more about the rooftop garden at the Botanic Gardens, because it's quite a place.
It's at the McCormick place.
Oh, the McCormick place. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So they had a rooftop garden initially, but last year decided to convert that into vegetable production. So last year we started off with a half an acre. Excuse me. Eighth of an acre, where we just experimented with stuff, with the soil, with the medium that we were growing in. And then after that, this year we actually expanded to a quarter acre, or a half acre. My apologies. But yeah, so now it's a half acre of all vegetable production. We're doing microgreens. We're going to experiment with some season extension things. Vermicomposting is going on up there. So it's a really unique kind of opportunity.
So there's worms up there.
Yeah. We have
worms up on the roof.
Yeah, exactly. We have about 60 pounds of worms at the moment. That's just turning all of that waste into compost. That's allowing us to amend it back into the soil that's on the roof.
What's the biggest challenge of rooftop gardening?
I would say like the wind. It's a completely different climate by being so high above the ground. But that would be the biggest challenge. It's stuff that does really well in that climate, though.
What are you going to do with your future? What do you see your future as in the future of urban gardening?
Good question. Right now, Urban Aggies is in like a proof of concept business model. Last year was my pilot year. This year, expanding from 3,000 square feet to 18,000 square feet, or 18,000 square feet. Right now, I'm looking to, make more connections with different people, build off those relationships, and, implement whatever's necessary for it to be successful.
Explain a little more about Urban Aggies. Now, that's your ground-based project in Garfield Park, and I was looking at the pictures of it, and it looks very large, like a very large garden. You've got to have help.
Yeah. That was the site last year. This year, we're actually at a even bigger site that I haven't really updated. But I teamed up with Chris Procott, who is also he works for Windy City Harvest and is my business partner this year. So we're doing complete production farming, 2 crops, working with the wholesale company Midwest Foods.
And your 2 crops are?
Kale and Swiss chard.
Right.
Yeah, my
ones.
2 favorites.
And then, so you're going to sell approximately how much of this stuff?
Well, it's going to be 3,000 plants of each. So we'll have abundant supply, almost between 7,000 and 12,000 pounds.
All right, so that is a real lot of urban agriculture.
Yes, definitely. But on a scale of being in Chicago, it's really small as well. So it's interesting to put it into context. Yeah, especially with the food industry now.
And this material is going to go out to Urban Harvest. The Harvest Group works with who?
Windy City Harvest works with Midwest Foods, which is the wholesale company. So our product, since we don't have a business license and are working under their insurance, our product will be marked as Windy City Harvest, and they're helping us in our initial beginnings.
So, can you make money doing this?
Yeah, definitely. It's so much that comes along with this type of work. There's so many different implements that you can add into it. We're looking at not just being a vegetable production business, but being a multifaceted, lucrative business model, doing composting or plant starts or vegetable production or distribution or anything. It's a huge amount of possibilities at the moment. We just have to get the right team together and the right business model.
Who is your team at Urban Aggies? Because it sounds like you've got to rope a lot of people into that.
Yeah, at the moment, my primarily business partner is Chris Procott, but through the work with Windy City Harvest, I've made good connections with different people. So I have, I don't want to drop any names, but some people that, a finance guy, somebody with managerial experience as well as farming experience, and just, bringing all these different people together, with distribution experience on a large scale, bringing all these people together to one to,
does it make a difference in the Garfield Park community to see this?
Yeah, it's a bunch of different projects going on in Garfield Park at the moment. yeah, I believe that when I did come to that neighborhood to do my project, the older people who've invested in that community, in the 60s, saw me out there and, was, rooting me on and asking me questions. The younger generation, not so much. But the older folks seeing, somebody from the community, a young black male out there doing something different, I think was a good experience for me and them.
The young people I thought urban agriculture was cool among young people.
I really think it is, man. And that's the hard part of doing the work that I'm doing right now is trying to differentiate myself from the scene and the actual, work. So, just not trying to be a part of a scene and be cool, but actually be hands-on work, and actually make a difference.
It sounds great. If you could paint a future for yourself, what is the ultimate end goal that you would like to have as a urban agriculturalist?
Well, my ultimate goal is to, I don't know what exact business model yet, but have, a very lucrative business as well as do job training stuff for people as it continue to grow, as urban agriculture continue to grows, and kind of implement more and do more mentoring things for communities and at schools and with different organizations. So yeah, I just want to farm and mentor. That's my ultimate goal.
Sounds great. Darius Jones is an urban gardening pioneer. He is the garden coordinator for the McCormick Place Rooftop Farm Garden, a 20,000 square foot vegetable rooftop garden, and he has an urban farming business called Urban Aggies, and it's in Garfield Park, where he grew up.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us, Darius Jones.